It's a returnable boot. Now it's going to be out of bounds, and the flag is thrown. So the mental mistake right off the bat, and the Crimson Tide will get good field position.
Pick you apart if you're not.
Tagovailoa's first pass attempt. No, he spun around and dropped for a loss. Louisville's defensive front, which has got a whole bunch of new guys, storms in there.
Watch him able to move around, use a little bit of a stunt, use some quickness, bounce around. Just a mix-up there with Alec-Amp, and there, just a mental mistake.
3rd and 13. Tagovailoa from the pocket flips it short. This is Harris running and muscling out across the 45. They'll spot it right there for an Alabama first down. Right for Tagovailoa. Fakes it. Slant. Caught. Off and running is Devontae Smith, the man who made that championship-winning catch in Atlanta.
Reading this linebacker right here, just a run-pass option. Etheridge commits down into the box. He pulls it out. You see this all the time in college football. They overload the box, and all of a sudden you got a match up to the outside that's favorable, and there's the run after the catch.
Tight end Smith motions in. Tua's got it. Spins away, throws to the end zone. A risky throw, caught for a touchdown. There are some flags in late. It was Judy on the receiving end. He may have roughed the quarterback.
Pulled him a little bit earlier. He's right here. Watch him move to the outside, then decides to come in, commit, and then comes in and hits him low. Not only did he get tackled, but his head whiplashed onto the turf. Good to see him. The reaction from the crowd is him jogging off the field. Comes in and boom. His head hit that turf really hard.
Judy, meanwhile, got loose in the end zone. At the DB, Kane pass turned around. The task was tough against this Bama defense. It just got tougher down 7. Play action. They flip it in the flat, and they've got tight end Mickey Crum wide open. A nice gain across the 35, and now a flag at the tackle there. And catch is made downfield. Smith again got free. Gets a first down inside the 40.
To bring some pressure, you get the safeties up tight, and you're leaving your corners on an island. You're either going to make a big play and pressure them, or you're going to leave your receivers or the corners on an island, which is a tough thing to do. It's Sturgill who can run, but a good route, well-timed.
Though success on 3rd and long. In the pocket. This time has good protection. Now it breaks down a bit. Trying to buy time, gets free and flips it underneath. It's Smith again, the outlet man, and Devontae Smith breaks free, loses the football, and the Cardinals, it's a scrum. Did he get it back? No, Louisville this time does make the takeaway.
Here by this defense, flying around, trying to get the ball freed up. It looked like D. Smith got in there 11 to knock the ball free. Etheridge is there as the linebacker. Got a few. Watch 11 coming here. Boom! That hit right there. Like the corner also got involved there, lowered his shoulder.
3rd downs. Alabama has converted them. Louisville 0 for 2. Now they need 11. Pass in the pocket. High throw incomplete. Tried to deliver to Tutu Atwell. Tua, meanwhile, back to work from the 45. This is Damian Harris who breaks free. Damian Harris barreling down inside the 25. First huge play from the Tide run game tonight.
Bill, just get lost here, and you'll see a crease off the double team up through the middle here, off the left side. Nice block there. Lester Cotton does a good job.
Tide 3rd down again. They need just 1 yard, and Harris slams for a 1st and goal. He's a guy that, remember, altered his diet.
He'd be great
After some years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Very analytical guy. It's a run all the way. Tua makes a cut and scores untouched. Harris on the block, and the Tide quickly cash in good field position. That's going to protect you from the Tide. Pass immediately pressured, flips it short, and the catch made over the middle by Dawkins. Immediate contact. That's right near the first down marker at the 50. Than 230.
Sure does.
And he tries to test the middle, but the Tide defensive line swarms him. Raekwon Davis and the backer Christian Miller combining. They'll lose 2.
Christian Miller in his initial movement looks like he's going to take the back, but then at the last second, Christian Miller's kind of playing a cat and mouse game. He shows that he's going to go for the back and then immediately collapses down. So very tough read by pass. He looks like he's going to tackle the back. How about Christian Miller quickly coming?
Drive alive. Tide bring pressure again. Pass rolls away. He's got a lot of room to run. And Jawan Puma pass scoots for a first down near the Alabama 35. Not Lamar Jackson, but he can move inside of the final minute of the first quarter. Pass pressured again, flips it over the middle, and the catch is made. Des Fitzpatrick, another veteran in that receiving corps, and they move the chains again.
And not just the defensive front, and has earned that right to become the coordinator.
5th season here. Pass, chucks it downfield, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Deontay Thompson. Will bring it out.
Deontay Thompson, we saw him play late in the year last year in the championship game. See this safety right here? And when you hang the ball too high in the air with his safety on the hash, and he's quick, he's got a chance to be able to close in and get at least a hand on the ball. And Thompson's so quick and closing speed, comes over and makes the interception.
Thompson, one of the guys that came on, started in the championship game. Part of that rebuilt secondary. You're talking about 6 quality DBs off Alabama that moved on. Minka Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, Anthony Averett, Tony Brown.
By both teams. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Alabama, number 4. His first of the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct on number 83. Louisville, his first of the game. Those fouls will offset. First down.
Savion Smith and Mickey Crum. There was some saltiness. We talked a bit about Louisville's receivers saying that one-on-one they could beat the Alabama DBs. They felt good about that. Saban took those quotes and used them for his team, and the Tide have come out a little ornery tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you knew when those quotes started to come out, even if they were maybe taken a little bit out of context. Alabama looks for anything and everything.
Everything's taken out of context.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But Scott Cochran, the strength coach, he makes sure to post quite a few quotes up on the walls in the weight room.
Najee Harris on the delay, bangs up the middle for 5 yards. If you go to Cassidy Hubbard in the studio for a quick update.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper championship drive. Number 12 Notre Dame up 21-3 over number 14 Michigan. Now Shea Patterson hasn't been able to find the end zone just yet, but Ambry Thomas certainly does on this 99-yard kickoff return. The Wolverines now 21-10. They trail in the second. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
Thanks, Cassidy. We're shut by 11. Tagovailoa on a slant in traffic. Nice catch by Jerry Jeudy. Gets out across the 40.
For those of you just tuning in, wondering how things went, this whole quarterback controversy, or whatever you may want to call it, Tua has been the guy from the very beginning of this game, and it has looked outstanding so far. Throwing the football 8 of 11, 121 yards for a touchdown and in complete command. 7 completions in the first quarter alone. You know, Alabama didn't have an entire game last year against a Power 5 opponent where they completed 7 passes in the first quarter. This is his first start, and he's already done it.
Low snap. Collects it. Looks downfield. Running free. Jalen Waddle makes the catch inside the 10. The sign of things to come for the talented Tide freshman out of Houston.
But he needed time here because this is a play that took some time. Watch the receiver Jeudy right here work across the middle, which occupies the middle safety. Take the safety away, open up the middle, and it takes time. Good job by the offensive line, and the true freshman extends at 5'10", 177 pounds to hold on to that football.
Finger trick grab in the back of the football. Now Tagovailoa barrels ahead, muscling toward the goal line, and knocked down just short. It is a thing of beauty to watch that lefty spin the football deep, isn't it? Wow.
It was. And what's even more impressive is he follows that beautiful pass up with a quarterback run where he looks like a fullback running over top of the safeties and linebackers almost into the end zone.
Harris reaches, lost the ball, tried to break the plane with the football. It came out. He was able to grab it at the 1.
And D. Smith collapsed down. Both ends on the edge there. D. Smith on one side and Dorian Etheridge on the other, just completely coming down to try to take away that inside run, and actually they were able to get there before the big fella Najee Harris had a chance to get into the end zone.
You got to be so careful reaching that ball in traffic.
Oh yeah.
3rd and goal. Now it's Brian Robinson Jr. as they bring in about 14 big dudes up front.
Eagle substitution. Louisville, 12 players in formation.
For the
Half
3rd
distance
time
to the
tonight.
goal.
First
Third
time on
down.
defense, but Cardinals are trying to sneak an extra man out there. I was kidding about the 14. It just looks like that for Alabama, but Louisville's got to get things sorted out in the sidelines over there.
Brian Van Gorder talking to one of his players. It's first week. You try to prepare the best you can and trying to adjust to the different personnel groupings, and guys are making some mental errors.
3 tight ends, and Robinson says, I'll find the end zone. The sophomore from Tuscaloosa, one of 4 talented tailbacks. Check it, it's Harris behind Robinson.
And Najee Harris follows Brian Robinson. Gets into the end zone. That's 4 drives and 3 touchdowns now for Alabama's offense.
Pure power football set up by that beautiful downfield catch by the freshman Waddle.
258 yards. 11:24 to go in the second quarter. It's a pretty good start.
Yeah, what'd you say? How many points per game?
I'm saying 45 to 50 a game.
They're on their way.
Every place offers something different and unique.
How do we continue doing this like all the time?
Lemonade.
I'll take a cup. I got this, kids. 1 cup of lemonade. Thanks. Time to pack up. Let's go, kids. Thank you.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Get every live game every Sunday at no extra charge when you switch to DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I work at the Chick-fil-A.
I go to that Chick-fil-A all the time.
He came in the drive-thru. Before I can give him his change, he drove away. It was a month before he came back in.
Marcus hands me this envelope, and it's like $3.
I kept it in my back pocket for over a month.
That's crazy. I'm just like pretty stunned.
She's like, dude, you serious? What?
Appreciate the $3, man.
Yeah.
And we found out we both play trumpet.
Got directions to the nightclub here. And if you get lost, just hit me on the old horn.
Tom's my best friend, but ever since he bought a new house...
It's a $10 cover? Oh, okay. Didn't see that on the website.
He's been acting more and more like his dad.
Come on, guys, jump in. The water's fine. Tom Pritchard. How we doing? Hi there, Tom Pritchard. Can we get a round of jalapeno poppers for me and the boys, please? I've been saving a lot of money with Progressive lately, so...
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Designed, engineered, tested, assembled, and powered in America. The 2018 Nissan Titan, featuring a standard V8 with best-in-class standard horsepower and torque, all backed by America's best truck warranty. Hurry in to Nissan's Take Home a Titan Truck Month and get 0% financing for 60 months on Titan.
Oh, Marcus Allen, Raiders, Rookie of the Year, 1982.
Correct.
John Nolan, LAPD Rookie this year. Back in the day, I was told I had quite an arm.
Ooh. Oh, yeah?
Ready? Oh! Ooh.
Hubbard with your DirecTV, more for your college football thing. Cincinnati taking on UCLA over on ESPN. Kazmir Allen busts out a 74-yard touchdown run to tie things up at 17 for the Bruins. Just of note, Wilton Speight left this game with an injury. This one in the third on ESPN. Chris, Herbie, Maria, back to you.
What are your expectations for Chip Kelly and the Bruins this year?
I think he's already dealing with Wilton Spade, with an injury. But I think they're always going to have talent at UCLA. I think they're 7, 8 maybe this year
in the conference.
7 or 8 wins overall. That'd be a great year for them.
Virgil at the goal line, and he's penned in and knocked down short of the 15. Chris Felica, the Bear, joined us. I want to see how his picks are doing, but he's also got the Aflac trivia question for us tonight.
Yeah, well, 1 and 2 on the board today, so under 500 per week, but that's okay.
That's all right.
A lot of time to go.
Time.
By the way, Alabama, this is the 104th week they've been number 1 in the AP poll all time. Looks like they're well on their way to 105. Which team holds the record for most weeks ranked number 1 in the AP poll?
Now, you're a Miami graduate, so you're going to say the Hurricanes could be
maybe Nebraska, Oklahoma, maybe USC.
I'm going to say maybe, I don't know, if you go to the Bud Wilkinson era, Oklahoma. The poll era began in 1938.
I'll go Nebraska. You go Oklahoma.
All right, Bear, give us.
I'm surprised neither of you got the answer to that Aflac question. It's Mr. Herbstreit's alma mater, Ohio State, 105 weeks. Looks like that record is going to stand for probably 2 more weeks as Todd look well on their way to 105, 106, and beyond.
Bear, they're pretty scary with Tua, huh?
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive first quarter.
Pretty good.
They've been number 1 at some point in 11 straight seasons. That's also a record. Pass down 3 touchdowns now, has a man wide open, and Smith out of the backfield. This time he makes the catch, gets the block, and a couple of times they've gotten the running back loose in the secondary. This time they make the play.
Yep, they snuck him out of the backfield, and the Alabama linebackers lost him. So we've been talking on and on and on about Tua in the offense, but Puma Pass and this offense from Louisville has had their opportunities, and Bobby Petrino is dialing up those plays and those formations and confusing Alabama. That time you saw free Trey Smith. Nobody picked him up out of the backfield, and an easy throw for pass.
27 yards. Holden Wilson replaces him at running back. Pass gets the low snap, and then has a man wide open, and running across there is Seth Dawkins. So this is what Saban sort of feared, the communication between some new guys back there.
And I also like the urgency and the tempo where you're trying to put your foot on the accelerator. You're putting that talented Alabama athletic defense on their heels, and Puma Pass, I think more and more that he is throwing the football is settling into this game. He had 2 receivers picking on Dylan Moses that time and made it an easy throw.
And a flag just before the snap.
Prior to snap, false start. Offense, number 33. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, it's tough enough, Kirk, against this Tide defense, but 5-yard penalties frequent tonight, making it even more difficult.
Yeah, this is not the defense that you want to be 1st and 15 and 2nd and 15, those kind of things. And as much as we talk about Nick Saban getting frustrated with mental errors, Bobby Petrino can get as frustrated as anybody.
He can make it tough on officials over there.
Yeah.
Dave can speak to that. Bobby will give him an earful. He's on the Mount Rushmore of coaches that make it tough on the officials. Says Kataya. Low snap, gets away, pass, tries to cover it, and slides down way back at the Louisville 44, and the Cardinals are going the wrong way.
You just talked about penalties and how much that can hurt you. Also a bad snap by this time Cole Bentley just does not get it up to pass.
He's a first-year center. He moves over from guard, but he did a lot of snapping in practice last year. That's uncharacteristic.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen a bad snap tonight where it's so low, and Puma tried to actually field that. And just the ball got away from him.
2nd and 26. They make a couple positive plays, and then it's the penalty and the low snap, and they're back in their own territory. Pass, looks at far side, dangerous, just over the fingers of Diggs, who thought he might have a pick.
Well, he got confused there. This time he thought Diggs was going to stay with Jalen Smith. Watch Diggs out here start to sink. And instead of staying with the wide receiver, he comes off of him, and that's what caught Pass by surprise. He was expecting a man-to-man look. Instead, they went zone late. They showed man, went to zone, and Puma Pass did not pick up on that, and he's very fortunate that was not a pick 6 by Diggs. Traylon Diggs could have stepped in front of that and walked to the end zone.
Diggs, the guy who was mentored by Minkah Fitzpatrick. That secondary learned a lot. Pass now downfield, and this one is going to be out of bounds. Thompson thought he had another pick, but couldn't collect it inbounds, and it continues to be a little salty down there between the DBs and the receivers.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, not just tonight, but if you see a half safety, which again we showed earlier when Thompson made the interception, this kid has such closing speed. You put the ball in the air when he's over there on that hash, you better throw it on a line because he's going to come over. Look how quick he is and accelerating, and I know it's out of bounds. I just love to see how quick he comes over there to take that throw away. It's tough to get it in there into that hole between the corner and the safety with Deontay Thompson on that hash.
Mental errors ruin a once promising Louisville drive. And King boots it down to the 15-yard line, and there's Waddle, who had the big catch earlier. Look out, bounces off a teammate, still pinballing around. He's just an electric guy. It's going to be like that when he touches the ball for his career at Alabama, right?
Oh, yeah.
8:05 until halftime. See if Tua's still in there when the Tide come back on the field.
The Camping World Kickoff on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo, is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Westin Hotels and Resorts. Let's rise. And Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific.
Louisville quarterback tradition. You get back to Johnny U, of course. And you get Teddy Bridgewater. He's part of a trade. Saints there. You get Lamar Jackson, Heisman Trophy winner with the Ravens now, who's trying to spur his teammates on. Tagovailoa out. And here comes Jalen Hurts, 26-2 as a starter. More than 2,000 career rush yards. Grew for 2,000 last year. Disappointed not to get the start. Let's see what he can do. Jacobs gets the handoff, and the timing was blown up by a high snap, and he has to scamper for a couple of yards.
And when Tua got done, you see Nick Saban comes over to him, not only to tell him, hey, good job, but keep your head in the game. You're going back in at some point. And Nick Saban has made it abundantly clear from the meetings in Atlanta, the SEC meetings, all the way through every interview, they're both going to play. They're both going to play. They're both going to play. Eventually, Tua looks like he won the job, but there's still room for Jalen Hurts to play.
And Jalen Hurts throws it underneath there to Henry Ruggs, the third, and he scoots out across the 30. And they'll spot it for a first down.
But also can throw the ball. I mean, the only difference is Jalen has not proven to be consistently able to work through the progressions the way we've seen from Tua. He can throw the ball downfield. He can throw the football if his primary receiver is open.
And there's a first down handoff to Jacobs. Hey, listen, what Tagovailoa has done, Kirk, 7 plays, 65 yards touch, 8, 67, and then that fumble. 6 plays, 55 yards touchdown, 6 plays, 75 yards touchdown. I mean, they're up 3 scores here, but this is a very important moment and an important drive for Jalen Hurts.
I think we just got to continue to go back and remember this young man is 26-2 as a starting quarterback in his first 2 years at Alabama. Led him to 2 national championship games. I mean, he doesn't have to apologize for who he is as a player to anybody.
Play action across the middle, just over the outstretched hands of Herb Smith. So much talk, you know, the modern game players have their camps and their friends, and they have about 6 social media platforms they can go onto. As you see Tagovailoa's reaction, they had that, you know, and there was a lot of speculation. Jalen Hurts' dad is pretty outspoken that he might leave. He said that was never going to be the case. He's 15 credits short of graduation, graduates in December, and he told Saban no matter what, he's here this year. Tied 5 for 5 on 3rd down with Tua in there. Need 3 this time. Hurts from the pocket, going to take a downfield shot. Judy sprinting, but it's not accurately thrown.
Yep. And
a flag is down back near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he got hit late. After he threw the ball, the officials were right there. It's the only thing I can think of. The flag is in the backfield right where he took a hit.
It took a downfield shot rather than a safer play on 3rd and 3.
There's no foul in the play for roughing the quarterback. The hit was to the chest area.
Okay, I think they initially thought it was maybe a little bit high. We saw a hit early that was low. This time maybe they thought it was high, but they got together. They could see that the hit, the contact was in the chest. It wasn't late. So the call was thrown, and then they got together and they picked the flag up.
And the Cardinals defense forces a punt for the first time in Hurts' first series. Jay Burns back at the 15-yard line. This is Skylar DeLong filling the big kicking shoes for J.K. Scott, who moved on to the Green Bay Packers. And the punt fair caught at the 20. 6:18 before halftime. There is a flag down on the near side.
Sideline warning on Louisville. Their first of the game. First down.
So Petrino's offense will go back to work trying to cut into this lead before the break here in Orlando.
Human horsepower, NOS energy drink, high performance energy.
Here we go. Discover. I like your card, but I'm absolutely not paying an annual fee.
Discover has no annual fees.
Really? Yeah.
We just don't believe in them.
Oh, nice. You would not believe how long I've been rehearsing that.
No annual fee on any card, only from Discover.
You spray. You work all day. You're gold. Smell fresh all day with Axe Gold Body Spray.
Give a man a chicken sandwich and he'll eat for a day. Give him two and he'll still eat for a day. But boy, what a day that would be. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other, an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait. Zaxby's.
We don't just make cars. We make technology that moves people. This is the 2018 Nissan Rogue, featuring tech like Pro Pilot Assist. It helps keep you centered in your lane and in control. This is how Nissan Intelligent Mobility is reinventing driving for everyone. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
A Million Little Things, a new drama, Wednesday, September 26th on ABC.
Taco Bell in the Liv Moss student section. Selection committee are on the lookout for passionate fans like these all year long. So the selection committee is even looking at the opener and beginning to judge.
There's a lot to judge in this game.
This is the home of the Pro Bowl, this stadium, and of course you got a bunch of guys out here with those kind of aspirations. A lot of them in the crimson colored jerseys, hope to end up in the Pro Bowl. Certainly that kind of potential.
Yeah, I forgot I got moved down here.
Yep. Day Williams to the right. Puma pass. And you fake it to him. Pass from the pocket. Flies over the middle. And again has a man wide open as the Cardinals work the middle very successfully. That's Jalen Smith, who looks fully recovered from that appendicitis.
Yeah, Maria Taylor's told us she's down close to the Louisville bench at the break. She said Bobby Petrino pulled over the offense before they went out there and said, guys, we're moving the football. You know, we're having opportunities to execute. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Let's just keep going out there, keep doing what we're doing. The plan is working.
Pass 9 of 15, 107 yards. Does have the one interception.
pass does look very well prepared considering the complexity of the Alabama defense.
Interesting, when they recruited him, they looked at this game, which had already been scheduled, and said, book it. You're going to make the first start of your career against Alabama. He considered the Crimson Tide. Nick Saban wanted him. They knew Lamar Jackson was probably going to leave after his junior year, and they pitched it to him. He's been mentally preparing for a couple of years for this.
Yeah, you imagine that? You're preparing for a couple of years, and all of a sudden it's here. You would think that would create a lot of pressure, not to mention following Lamar Jackson, but he looks very, very poised tonight.
Tide brings some pressure, and the ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long. Maria?
Guys, you're talking about Puma pass, and he told me that in preparation for this moment, he's had the game circled, but he watched some Deshaun Watson film, and he really wanted to focus on his cadence and the rhythm that he does his drops and his throws, because he felt like his timing was off with receivers and routes. So that's something he really focused on in the offseason in preparation for playing Alabama.
Yeah, Maria working on the footwork. Quincy Avery out in L.A. is one of the quarterback coaches that so many guys in college football work with their guy in the offseason. On 3rd and 12, pass, steps up, delivers a low throw, and it's broken up, incomplete. Tried to squeeze it in there, and that time Diggs, the corner, came over. 4th down.
The nose of that football looks like it's pointing down on that throw, and when you have the nose of the ball going down, that obviously the ball is going to go into the ground. You see how it's coming down? It's almost like he's so big and tall, he's throwing the ball. The trajectory is going down toward the wide receivers and eventually into the ground.
Keeps the ball pretty high, and Petrino thinks he has a very quick, nice release. Waddle, the electric freshman, again back deep for the Tide. King with a boot that's off to the side, bouncing dead and away from Waddle inside the 20-yard line. 4:45 until halftime. Tide up by 3 touchdowns. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. From the end zone to the uprights, nothing comes between hard work and a goal. Goodyear, more driven. Played up to Tallahassee, Labor Day night, 8 o'clock over on ESPN. The Hokies and Florida State. Nice cross-divisional ACC collision at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Also part of the megacast. DeAndre Francois back at quarterback for the Noles. Still at quarterback is Jalen Hurts, and it's a handoff inside to Damian Harris. Hurts 1 of 3 in his first series.
You know, Louisville's defense still thinking about getting stops, trying to get the ball back to pass, and still trying to pressure Jalen Hurts. And if you're an Alabama fan and you've seen what Tua has been able to do for this offense, putting 21 points up, you know, you probably like to see Jalen Hurts move the ball down the field and be able to score, not just for Alabama, but for him. Because if he goes 3 and out again, you know, you can only imagine what that'll do to some of the Alabama fans wanting to get him out of the lineup.
This is Najee Harris cutting back and spinning. I totally agree, and you said it well. He represents a lot of what's good about it, and we've seen him be a good teammate and support Tagovailoa. But you're right. Everything is dissected to the nth degree in Alabama when it comes to football.
Sure. And I think it's pretty well established after Nick Saban being coy and just kind of trying to hide it. I think it's pretty clear that Tagovailoa has become the starting quarterback here, but he's made it abundantly clear again that he wants Jalen to have a role, because I think he has such respect for the way he has carried himself and what he's done for this program.
Well, they need 5 yards to keep it from being another 3 and out. Cardinals rush 4. Hurts has time in the pocket now. Circles around, tries to make something happen on the run, and flips it complete after the 35. And it is a first down catch by Devontae Smith. There's a flag down on the far side. We'll check that first. This one may come back. Looks like a lineman may have gotten
Eligible
downfield.
receiver. Downfield. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's the veteran center, Ross Piersbaker.
Chris, I just want to show you an example and a difference here. You're going to have the tight end work here. You're going to have him looking initially off to his left. But this is an example of the difference between Jalen Hurts. 3rd down and short. This is covered. But look right here. That's a first down. If you check it down there and he doesn't see it, That's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Tua. Tua throws that ball, it's a first down, and you're moving on to the next set of downs.
And it was Waddle running out of the slot. Instead, penalty takes the first down catch off the board, and it's 3rd and 10. Play clock down at 5. Cardinals do bring pressure this time. Hurts has to get it out fast, and coming back, a back shoulder catch is Smith, and they get the first down anyway. So you feel good for Hurts.
Yeah, sure.
That completion.
Yeah, Brian Van Gorder's been bringing pressure on 3rd down, bringing pressure. He's going to bring it here, but here's the man who gets in. Give Jalen Hurts a lot of credit. He knows it's coming. He just kind of leans back and throws it. And this is the kind of ball he can throw. If he's not working through progressions and he's going to make a throw, let his receiver make an adjustment, he makes that throw.
And it's incomplete. Tried to get to Harris in the flat. You know, Smith, who had a quiet year but then exploded, made the ultimate catch for the national championship. Only had 8 for the year. Already a quick start. He's got half that many tonight. He shared the fact that his mom had turned around, was talking to some friends in the stands after that sack on the first play in overtime. She completely missed her son making the touchdown catch. Oh, missed it completely. Had to watch in the Jumbotron. She was a good sport about it. Yeah. Never keep your eyes on the field in overtime at all times.
Oh, man.
2nd and 10. There's a slant, and there's Devontae again. Ball pops up in the air. It's incomplete. A high throw, and he took a big shot. Could not hold on. That was Etheridge, the linebacker, who delivered it.
Yeah, he delivered a hit on Smith and also on the football. That's what made the ball pop up into the air. 17, the linebacker. And you know Smith knows that's coming, takes the hit, ball pops up. Louisville's trying to come up with a big turnover. They're still thinking, let's get the ball back, let's get a turnover. We're still in this football game. They get the ball to start the second half.
Smith being checked out on the sidelines as the Tide again face a 3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the right. It's an option. Damian Harris has it and slams strongly into Louisville territory, but it's going to be 4 yards short of a first down. So 4th down, 2:13 to halftime. And
Damian Harris down.
Looks like Harris is down on one knee where he was tackled. So a timeout on the field. I'll see if the Tide try to punt and pin the Cardinals deep when we come back.
From this moment on, be open to surprises. Let joy run free. Make memories to cherish. Because we are the storytellers of life.
Plan your uniquely Orlando vacation today at visitorlando.com.
Next year here in Orlando, it's a pretty good one to kick things off. Canes and the Gators will get it on in Orlando this time slot a year from now.
It's a great game.
I think old Damian Harris is a sturdy guy, and he's able to walk off. So it's 4th and 4. Football sitting at the 47. See how adventurous Petrino will get with the offense. He's got 2 timeouts to work with. Figures to have a long way to go. Skylar DeLong kicked some great ones, not achieved the consistency they hoped for in a punter yet, but the job firmly his. Jay Burns is the returner at the 10. He drops the tip and kicks it high with backspin, and it will be a very effective punt that is down at the 15-yard line. Harris walking to the locker room just in advance of halftime to be checked out. This week on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, Angels and the Astros. Speaking of defending champions on display, Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown at 7. ESPN app also has the ball game. So, 85 yards from the end zone, 2:02 before halftime. Petrino, who bound to just let it fly, be bold, give his team a chance to make plays. See what they do here. Empty backfield. Pass as the ball batted down at the line into traffic. It's a scrum. Looks like an offensive lineman may have come down with it. Quinnen Williams, the nose guard, got a big hand up.
Yeah, he's the second time Williams has gotten his hand up to knock the ball down. 92 right in the middle with that right arm sleeve. Uses that right hand. I don't know if the ball ever hit the ground. Boy, Williams, a player that a lot of times Alabama fans themselves forget about. Raekwon Davis, 99, they talk about. Isaiah Buggs, 49. Anthony Jennings has become one of the leaders this year of this defense, 33. Oftentimes Quinnen Williams is overlooked, but coaches will tell you he's as good as any of them up front.
Lineman didn't make the catch. He should have let it hit the ground because the catch lost a bunch of yards. Yeah. Big fella, what are you going to do? You're going to run through all that traffic and make a positive play?
He's going back to his Pee Wee League instincts of being a fullback. Just could not help himself. How about that blitz that time by Mack Wilson? I keep talking about Jennings becoming the guy. With the loss of Rashaan Evans and Sean Dion Hamilton, in the middle now you have Mack Wilson and Dylan Moses. And Mack Wilson, to me, late last year, started to come into his own and becoming a very effective middle linebacker. And I expect him to kind of be the leader, especially communicating and getting the right calls in for that defense.
Comes out of that great program in Montgomery Carver High School. Pass from the end zone off the back foot, just heaves it incomplete. Dawkins never turned around. Maria, what do you have?
Well, here Kirk talking about Mack Wilson. How about every week he's basically meeting with Nick Saban and kind of talking through what he sees on the defense. He knows that this is the leader that's going to be on the field communicating with his defense, and he checks in with them. Mack said he's very honest with Coach, too. He'll say he's frustrated. He doesn't like it with the way they're communicating or how they're not lining up properly, but it's something they work through together.
You know, Maria, since Coach Saban has been in Tuscaloosa, they've had 3 Butkus Award winners. Mack Wilson kind of has the makeup and the look of being that next Butkus Award winner for Alabama.
What a monster alpha he was in the playoff. And the interception against Clemson, made 12 tackles against Georgia in the national championship game. Waddle cuts back, breaks a tackle, still alive. And this freshman is going to be an electric returner. You'll see him making plays out of the slot position as well. Just what they need, another big playmaker in Alabama.
Yeah, and the timing of that, the defense gets to 3 and out. They get a punt return, 27 seconds to go, and they're thinking about points again. That's just the thing with Alabama. When you hold up "We Want Alabama" sign, remember, it's a 60-minute game of body blows. Like, they don't stop. They don't care what the score is. So don't feel sorry for yourself in the middle of the game.
Yeah, Thursday, wasn't it the folks at Purdue, "We Want Bama" sign? You got a little upset with that.
Get out of here. Get that sign. Boycott the sign.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Nobody should hold that. You should be penalized if you hold that sign up.
Well, after a couple of series that did not result in points, Jalen Hurts, Tua back in there now from the 25-yard line. A short field to try to stretch the lead. They got 27 seconds. Tagovailoa steps up, look downfield, now throws underneath, but they hit as he tried to get rid of it to Judy. Now 21 seconds left.
Catches a break there with the incompletion. Clock stops. Of course, they do have all 3 timeouts. No need to try to get it all in one play. You know, you need 21 seconds. The way they execute, you don't have to throw it into the end zone, especially with 3 timeouts left.
Najee Harris is the back. Tagovailoa looks that direction, flips it down to Najee. He slipped as he caught it. He's tackled right there, and Saban will have to spend the first of his timeouts with 14 seconds before half.
Yeah, Louisville's defense ready for that, actually. Not fooled at all. Just didn't, the timing of that screen didn't look real good. This is Tua Tagovailoa tonight, his decision making. This is an RPO. Reading the linebacker, he sinks down into the box, so he's going to throw right behind Etheridge, the middle linebacker. This is a check down on a 3rd down early in this game. You got receivers going downfield, no problem. Nobody's going to pick up Damian Harris. He checks it down, lets Harris do the work. And look at the accuracy of the throws. Here he works through his progressions, takes the middle safety away with a crossing route, opens up the young freshman, who's able to extend his hands and, as you said, Chris, catch the back of that football on that long throw. But the accuracy really stands out, along with the decision making. Those are the 2 best attributes you can find in any quarterback at any level.
He's working with Dan Enos, who's the new quarterback coach. Loxley is just calling the plays, so For the first time last dozen years, the OC is not coaching a position. So Enos, former quarterback of Michigan State, he was at Arkansas for 3 years, working as quarterback coach with Tua and Jalen Hurts. Tagovailoa from the pocket launches to the end zone, caught in stride for a touchdown by Jerry Jeudy. Arm talent that is just magnificent to behold. There's no other way to describe it. You exhaust the adjectives. What a passer.
Yeah, he's just, again, the accuracy. We said it during this debate, when you have as much talent around the quarterback position, you need a distributor. What we've seen in this first half from 13 is his ability to read coverage and distribute the football to the open man. For some reason, Louisville's defense left Jerry Jeudy, arguably the best receiver on Alabama, one-on-one in the slot without any help over top with a safety. We're waiting for Alabama with Calvin Ridley has moved on. Who's going to be that next guy to kind of take over? Look at Tua in rhythm. Back, kind of looks like the rhythm that he had in the championship when he made that throw to Devontae Smith. Here's the look. I mean, there's no way that you're going to ask number 10, Rajon Burns, to stay with Jerry Jeudy. Didn't have a chance to stay with him. Did not slow him down off the ball, and it allowed Tua to be able to be right in sync with Jeudy.
Cool, calm, as though he expected no other result than that. 5 series, 4 touchdowns, and then there was a fumble by Smith when he was down in the red zone. That's what's gone on when he's had the helm of this offense. And it's clear that to have that explosive, dynamic offense that uses all the playmakers, he's the distributor. The question becomes not why did he start here, but maybe they could have worked it in a little bit quicker last year.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, Jalen was doing some good things, and they had a system that was
and they're winning.
Working.
I get it.
Yeah, defense, special teams, field position. This is a different year.
And he does this in practice all the time.
I know.
We're seeing against Alabama's defense.
I know.
You've been down there.
Trust me. I know. The beneficiaries of this whole quarterback discussion are the wide receivers, because they're getting a lot more chances to make plays now with him, the quarterback.
Burns, as the seconds tick down, this will be the, well, he's going to be knocked down 3 seconds to go, so they have one more play. Well, a Hawaiian with a not a bad voice. Ukulele skills. You know, the Hawaiian culture is such a beautiful thing. It's so family oriented. They're very close. It was kind of symbolized up by the Hawaiian Little League World Series team when they won. Just the joy of competition and playing, and the closeness together, the love that they had. Really, I think something that's wonderful about that culture.
Yeah, it's awesome. He has such a laid-back personality, yet on the field, such a competitor. His teammates love him. They believe in him, and I think that quarterback debate is over.
Tide chalk up 340 yards and 4 touchdowns, scoring touchdowns on all but one of Tagovailoa's possessions here. Maria's got Nick Saban.
All right, Coach, 5 series and 4 touchdown scores for Tua. What did you see from your quarterback in the first half?
Well, I think he played well. You know, Jalen had a couple opportunities, and, you know, we still want to see what he can do. So, you know, we're good with it. I mean, I think we made a lot of mistakes. I don't think we run the ball very effectively. We've been a little sloppy at times, especially on defense, so we got a lot to work on.
Yeah, one of your concerns was how your defense would gel. What is the improvement they can make in the second half?
Well, we made a lot of mistakes on defense. You know, they haven't been able to capitalize on them, so we need to get it fixed.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
You knew Saban wasn't going to be giddy.
No.
Lots of problems, lots of things to fix, mistakes.
Heck yeah.
And a 4-touchdown lead.
Don't let that score go to 35, 42, or 49. Then they're really in trouble.
End of the first half in Orlando. The halftime report. Kevin Negandhi, Mac Brown, Jonathan Millville coming up next right after these messages on ABC.
Plenty of time for Tua, and we've seen the results. A pair of touchdowns. The Jerry Jeudy looking good there, Mac.
I'd say Coach Saban made the right decision at quarterback because Tua's right on mark.
Alabama in control, 28-0. We had a good game this afternoon in Atlanta. Number 9, Auburn, going up against number 6, Washington. And Jared Stidham, the Sal Cannella. It's really the double move that gets you.
This is a double move right here. Great play calling early in the game. That's the first 15 from the offensive coordinator. Knew that he would bite on that hitch. Went for the go, threw it only where the receiver could get it. Great touchdown.
Closing minutes in the second now. Washington down by 6. This is just a great adjustment like Quentin Pounds.
Yeah, Pounds separates to the boundary. Great throw by Browning over the outside. Keeps some room outside. What a catch for the touchdown for Washington.
Guys, Washington hurt themselves a couple times in the red zone. And then you saw Auburn. They took advantage. Whitlow forcing one in.
Great contact right there. Keep driving his legs. And that was the game right there in the red zone. In the second half, Washington couldn't capitalize. Auburn could capitalize, and they won the game.
21-16 Auburn, but you still think Washington showed you enough that they have a promising future for a playoff, right, in your mind?
Absolutely. They had 2 turnovers at quarterback, 4 times inside the 40, and only came away with 3 points. So Washington's a good football team.
Definitely. They have a legitimate chance to run the table in the Pac-12. You're talking about possible one-loss team winning the Pac-12. That should be enough.
All right, Mac JV, let's go. We're talking about a game that's going on right now in South Bend, and Brandon Wimbush, he looked very good in the first half, steady for the Irish.
I was so impressed with Chip Long and what he's done with Brandon Wimbush, and they came out on fire offensively.
And offensively, we can't find it for Michigan. This is how they score. Ambry Thomas, 99 yards on the return, and that's the only touchdown for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Shea Patterson and that Michigan offense have not been able to get it together against that Notre Dame defense, but kudos to Brian Kelly opening up that offense for Notre Dame.
21-10 right now, and 11 years ago today, Michigan fans don't want to hear it. They were upset at the Big House by Appalachian State, and they were trying to do something here in Happy Valley against Penn State. You saw Malik Williams for the touchdown. Then on the ensuing kickoff, they get the onside, so Appalachian State ball. Following the recovery, 1st and goal, Zach Thomas, the keeper. We're tied at 31. 6 minutes to go. Oh, no. Then under 2 minutes left. These guys are 24-point dogs. Jalen Moore,
get off me.
Giving up.
Get off me.
Scored too quickly, left too much time on the clock.
He sure did. You can't blame him, though. He went into the end zone, but under a minute to go now.
That's big
Trace
league.
McSorley.
Big league. He had all the pressure right there, threw it on the money, a rope right there for the touchdown.
We go to overtime. Miles Sanders. Penn State has the lead. Mountaineers, one more chance, and I just am blown away by this catch. It's by the D-back. Give me that. Amani Aruwaria. What a great catch that seals the deal for the Nittany Lions. They avoid the upset, 45-38. Meanwhile, early today, Ohio State and Ryan Day, the acting coach, as Urban Meyer dealing with the suspension, taking on Oregon State. Mike Weber all about the ground game. Haskins was great with the air, but Weber making the moves, 186 yards on the ground.
Yeah, we saw Weber. He scored. He scored on many occasions, but it's Haskins that has opened up that offense with his throwing arm.
Weber averaging 9 yards per carry. Offensively, 375 yards on the ground for the team. And then you got Nick Bosa with a big day. How about 2 sacks and then this touchdown?
Yeah, I thought Ohio State looked great. They did exactly what they needed to do coming out in an open ball game to send a statement.
Meyer can come back tomorrow to coach practice. Meanwhile, Will Greer, 15-1 odds. Heisman coming in. Calling the shots, West Virginia taking on Tennessee, and Greer was magnificent.
He was, man. He was throwing it all over. 5 touchdowns in this game, and he was putting the ball on the money. I mean, those odds had to go up, Kevin. It gets 5-1, maybe?
Maybe against a Tennessee team that has a ton of athletes. And Jeremy Pruitt's debut, look at that, 429 yards. Perfect ball.
Very impressed by Will Greer and West Virginia, so they can be a factor in the Big 12 now after watching them today.
Most definitely, Coach.
Got that Baker Mayfield factor. We'll see how that plays out as the season continues. Georgia opening things up. DeAndre Swift, the storyline with Jake Fromm. They win 45-0. Up next is South Carolina for them. Meanwhile, ton of offense. Clemson in action, as well as Oklahoma with the new man in charge.
This halftime report is brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966.
It can seem unreachable at first. The bar too high, shoes too big. You'll take leaps of faith and fall on your face, but you'll get up. Hard work is 50 sprints before breakfast and another 50 for breakfast. You'll eat it, breathe it, sleep it. The Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear. More driven.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
I got this. Why don't you take a long lunch? Okay. At the end of this call, we will either have a deal or we will never have a deal.
You're not gonna believe this. John killed himself.
John, you say everything happens for a reason. I can't find a reason for this.
How could I not know? Maybe something else was going on. People keep secrets.
This doesn't make any sense. This is John. Perfect John. I feel it in my
Friendship is being able to have the hard conversations and being willing to listen. It's a million little things.
To John. To John.
I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. The challenge in life is to find that reason.
A Million Little Things. A new drama. Wednesday, September 26th on ABC.
This halftime report is brought to you by Visit Orlando. Plan your uniquely Orlando vacation at visitorlando.com.
Primetime performers brought to you by Visit Orlando. JV, go.
Let's go defense, Kev. Ed Oliver, potential #1 pick in next year's draft. 13 tackles at defensive tackle, 3.5 TFLs. What a phenomenal day. Those are linebacker stats right there.
Now let's go offense. Dwayne Haskins had himself quite the day in his first start in Columbus, Ohio, as they rolled over Oregon State as he came in to replace J.T. Barrett with 5 touchdown passes.
You can't have a better start to a college career than Maryland's Jayshon Jones. The Terrapin freshman had a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and he passed for a touchdown on his first 3 touches in a win over Texas. Those Terps celebrating. What a day for them. Alabama, Louisville from Orlando, second half coming your way after this.
Welcome back to Orlando, the Camping World Kickoff. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Maria Taylor. Third straight season, Alabama strolls in as the preseason #1. And what we saw in the first 30 minutes will only strengthen people's belief that this, again, is the team to beat. Tua Tagovailoa, the first 30 minutes of this season looking a lot like the final 30 minutes of last season. And after all the debate and the controversy, seems pretty clear that number 13 can play. I thought, Kirk, how can you make a guy that hasn't started a game and played one meaningful half? How could he possibly be a Heisman Trophy favorite?
Well, no. Yeah, I think surveys in, and they're off to a good start with their expectations of what he could do. You and I go to their practices when they're closed. We've seen him all of last year. We've walked away from practices kind of raising our eyebrows like, wow, ball didn't touch the ground when he ran that drill. And that's against Alabama's defense. So I'm not surprised at all to see this. It was at the second half against Georgia when they won the championship. It's just watching him all of last year and knowing what's around him that would allow him to give him a chance to be able to make plays like this.
Lolovas to boot it away. And taken, that's a fair catch made right at the goal line. Ball come out 25. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. Alabama's defense with all those new guys. But it's the offense, and Tagovailoa who just runs it in. Damian Harris, a nice block, and then you see the beautiful downfield throw late in the half to Judy.
Yeah, the accuracy's been there. He's been in rhythm. Defense has made some plays. Nick Saban made it pretty clear walking off the field with Maria. He's not been happy with that first half, even though they came up with some good plays. The one takeaway, they gave Bobby Petrino was dialing up some plays and had some open receivers for his first-year starting quarterback, Puma Pass.
Louisville running for just 11 yards in the first half, gained 111 total, and they try it on the ground in the first play of the second half. Maria?
Well, Bobby Petrino says coming out of the locker room, his message to his offense was simple. We are hurting ourselves with penalties. We're doing a great job moving the ball up and down the field, but when it comes to impact plays, we're not executing. Defensively, I talked to associate head coach Lorenzo Ward, and he said we can't get discouraged by the big plays. He says as soon as a big play happens, we start playing out of character. We forget our assignments, and we have to find a way to stay in character throughout the entire game.
There's another handoff as they test the middle of an Alabama defense with Trey Smith. It'll be another 3rd and long. This is not going to be the game that defines, Louisville's season for sure. You got Indiana State, Western Kentucky. Then they get into the conference season. They got the Knowles at home. So
no, I think when you take on Alabama in the opening game, it's not always about, especially when it's 28-0. It's not just about this game. It's about competing and fighting and scratching and clawing and growing and trying to get ready for week 2 and beyond.
But the running game will remain a question mark for this team, even though it's against a very tough defense. Pass on 3rd down, flips it again across the middle. They got a man wide open. That's Des Fitzpatrick, and those misdirection routes have caught Bama napping a couple times out across the 45.
Yeah, that time Mack Wilson was in no man's land. He looked lost. I think there was confusion, and he's supposed to be the guy communicating and understanding what coverage they're in. That time, you had a wide open wide receiver, and these are the things that I think Nick Saban's going to. Saw him walking off the sidelines with Maria at halftime. You could see his eyes, the intensity they had. He was not happy because there were 2 or 3 plays just like that where they left somebody wide open. Very uncharacteristic of an Alabama defense, but speaks to the youth that they have.
And that pass under heavy pressure does a great job to get the ball away to Crum, who makes a catch in Alabama territory. Quentin Williams was in there in a hurry.
Yeah, remember Lamar Jackson used to make people miss? This is more like a Ben Roethlisberger. Like, you got me. Yeah, you got me, but I'm an oak tree. So you really can't bring me down. He just stood in there, and that's Williams at 300 pounds or 290 pounds trying to bring down Puma Pass, and he couldn't do it.
I don't think Juwan's going to hurdle people in the open field the way Jackson. He'll just run them over.
Run them over. They can't bring him down.
Day Williams, deep pistol formation on 2nd and 4. There was quick penetration, and a flag comes in right in that offensive pit. They're trying to block Quentin Williams. I thought they actually held him on the play before. Now there is a flag.
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's the center, Bentley. Petrino wondering if that veteran offensive line, one of the more experienced parts of his team, would be able to handle those guys up front. Knew he had to create some kind of a running game, and now they've run it 13 times for 14 yards. So the answer is no.
As much as he believes in his passing game, the scheme itself as a quarterback tonight, and the receivers, and maybe the potential area to attack Bama with the inexperience in the secondary, but you still have to have some balance. You can't run for 13 yards against Bama and be that one-dimensional and have a chance to be consistent.
2nd and 14. It's a zone read, a handoff, and Quentin Williams again. He's considered undersized at what, 289. That's where we are in the SEC in college football. He's a small little guy, 289 in there.
When I talked to Tosh LaPointe, the new defensive coordinator, about him, I loved he used the term junkyard. And that sums him up. He's the junkyard dog that does
high compliment, right?
That's a great compliment for a defensive lineman. It doesn't get any better than that. That is great. But there are a lot of other bigger, stronger, faster guys on that defensive line that get a lot of attention. And when you bring up Quentin Williams to the coaches, their eyes light up. They think he could be the best.
When you fill in for Deron Payne, there's going to be all eyes on you. High expectations. Good start tonight, and pass bounces off tacklers again, but he's just spinning backwards, and now he's going to be brought down by 3 Bama defenders inside the 30. There's another flag down. And without that running game, Kirk, they are just starting to tee off on this first-time starter.
Yep.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Again, that was Bentley. This becomes a nightmare for the guys up front, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does, especially they get you to that 3rd down. They dialed up some pressure. They brought the middle linebacker, Mac Wilson. They had a twist. You can see they moved Quinnen Williams to the outside. Isaiah Buggs comes in through the middle. He gets home and is able to get to the quarterback, but there's pass again. Tough to bring down.
It wasn't the most egregious hold I've seen in the pit. Team with a low punt. Waddle at the 20. Already made one spectacular return tonight. Shows the quick burst and gets out across the 35-yard line. Tide go back to work, up 28.
The Camping World Kickoff on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo, is brought to you by Dollar General. Save time, save money every day. Lexus, experience amazing. And Courtyard Fairfield 4 Points and Spring Hill Suites. We live by the golden rule.
The best 10-year run in the history of the sport. You can make a very good case. 125-14. Saban equaling Paul Bryant with his 6th national championship last season. Looking very much like a contender for number 7. To the timeout, 2nd and 1, and it's Jacobs picking his way back into the clear and into the end zone. Josh Jacobs is a popular guy. He's been hurt so often, Kirk, kept off the field by various injuries. His 2nd touchdown at Bama, and you can see his teammates are excited for him.
Yeah, they're fired up for him. It's great to see him healthy, and love to see his tight end, Hale Hinch's 84, blocking without his helmet on. He lost his helmet. He kept going downfield trying to make blocks. I don't need a helmet. I'm just going to knock somebody, hit somebody without the helmet. Jacobs is tough back, boy. That's your 3rd back. Damian Harris, Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs.
Very, very possible that all those guys, as the extra point is missed. Austin Jones, back in his hometown, the transfer from Temple, missed it wide right, so it's 34-0.
Yeah, he's going to end up bouncing it to the outside, but watch the tight end, Henches here. He does a nice job of coming off the ball, a nice drive block, loses his helmet, but he's not going to give up on the play. He's still looking to try to come up with a block, but Josh Jacobs, his versatility is so impressive. Can catch the ball to the backfield, and well, he's a different back, obviously, when he is healthy.
Darren Sproles, like you see the progressive pylon cam. Is that a
kind of reminds you of that, like low center of gravity kind of guy?
Some think he'll have a huge future at the next level, along with Damian and Najee Harris, and also, as we said, Brian Robinson Jr., the hometown guy from Tuscaloosa, who's just a sophomore. He may be a guy we hear from next year or the year after.
Yeah, Nick Saban's going to be really, after this game, we always talk about how he sometimes gets even more amped up and fired up about big wins. That extra point, we're going to have to focus on special teams next week.
Well, the kicking competition was a close one. Jones, who grew up here in Orlando, got the job over the man kicking off as Scotty Cochran, the strength coach, is in rare form. He's at energy drink number 4 or 5 tonight. It's part of the new rules. You make the fair catch anywhere and the ball is placed out at the spot it would have been in a touchback. The idea is to reduce the number of collisions that you get on kickoff returns. Data from the NFL suggests that those head injuries occur more often in that play than anything else. So this is one of the new rules in the sport. First time we've seen it in play tonight. And Maria has a special guest tonight. It'll be tough for him to watch, though, this.
A very special guest. Lamar Jackson, the Heisman Trophy winner, former Louisville Cardinal. And the reason why he's here, Chris, is because he wanted to support Puma Pass in his very first game. What does it mean to you to just be able to be in this moment with him?
You know, it means a lot for me, just seeing him out there. Hold on, wait. But, it means a lot for me to be out here, just to support those guys, especially Juwan Pass. He was my roommate when I was here 2 years straight, you know, we always talk, you know, that's like my little brother. You know, I told him when you go out here, you know, just stay calm, have them guys, don't let them get rattled. It's a big game. Everyone know it. They want to see what's going to happen. But, you know, you just got to get the guys together. That's all.
He tells me that he talks to you literally every single day.
Yeah.
We have an offensive interference, but let's talk about what you've seen from Puma so far in this offense.
His poise in the pocket. You know, they always say, you know, I'm getting out the pocket and stuff like that when I was in college, but, you know, he stand up in the pocket like Cam Newton, and that's what I call him. I call him Baby Cam. Yeah.
What is your expectation for him as this season kind of progresses and he continues to get more snaps under his belt?
Just get comfortable. You know, score a lot of touchdowns, win games. That's all.
All right, now you just played in your last preseason game. You led your squad to 3 scoring touchdowns. So what is the biggest takeaway from being a pro now?
Yeah, I just got comfortable with it. You know, I just slowed everything down. I was kind of getting rattled when I first got in the league, you know, just being so starstruck at the same time, you know, just really not being comfortable because I've been in college 3 years, just getting in there and just playing against those guys. It's a lot faster, but, you know, the last 2 weeks, I felt a lot comfortable. You know, I just went out there just try to help my team. My team helped me and came out with victories.
Part of becoming a pro is having a guy like Coach Petrino kind of getting you prepared. So how did he get you ready for that moment?
You know, just being on me. Even if I think I'm doing something all right, you could have did better. You know Coach P, he a hard coach, but, you know, it's good for players like us, you know, just coming out of college or, you know, just going to that next level because that's what it's all about, worth ethic.
Was that your impression of Coach Petrino?
Nah, that's not it. He probably going to get on about that.
All right, so he's still getting on from Coach Petrino. He's still messing with his former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, guys.
Whereas Lamar grew up a couple hundred miles south of here on the coast. He's a tough guy because it's a warm night for looks like a heavyweight hoodie down there.
Well, what a player he was. We called a lot of his big games. Burst onto the scene with that performance at Papa John's Stadium against Florida State.
He did. Puma pass. Tough going on 3rd and 26. Escapes. A flag is down back in that holding zone as the Tide beginning to flush out pass more regularly now. Baby Cam Newton. That's not a bad comparison.
Yeah, he'll take that.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 33. 15-yard penalty. Be added on to the end of the run. First down.
They got Anthony Jennings, so the play will stand, and they'll move it 15 yards to about the 35.
Been watching him pretty closely tonight. Again, the guy who's supposed to be really the leader of this defense, the edge pressure guy, gets his hand up into the face of the offensive tackle there, Foy, and he doesn't quite look like he's back from the PCL injury that he sustained in the semifinal game against Clemson. Just maybe a step slower.
They come barging up the middle, and it's all they can do to collect the low snap and dodge out of trouble. Rushing the passer, that's the skill that he'll need to improve.
Yes,
for his next level value. And they did have a back helping out that time, you saw on the edge against Jennings.
Yeah, and you know the reason Jennings and his health is so paramount is, of course, they have lost some players over the years and had some injuries to some of these linebackers as they've been in camp. And they need him back healthy and making plays along with Christian Miller at that other linebacker spot. Jamie Mosley.
All kind of stuff going off as the Tide came across, and then Cardinals slot receiver took off out of the starting blocks. That's Keon Wakefield. They're using a whole bunch of young, inexperienced receivers out there at the moment.
Offside. Defense. Number 92 with contact. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So that's Quinnen Williams, and these are the kind of mental mistakes, even in a 34-0 game, you know, Saban's going to remember when they have those meetings and tape study. Look at him over there. High standards.
Oh, yeah. 3 new defensive assistants, new defensive coordinator.
Pass, throws it incomplete. It was way behind Day Williams.
That's a lateral. They're marking that ball back about 3 or 4 yards. So instead of being at the 39, they're going to go all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Third down from behind the sticks again. We know he'll be there working with Tosh Lupoi, who's calling the defense for the first time in his career.
I thought it was interesting the way he said, you know, with 3 new assistants from the outside, a new defensive coordinator who was from within, and a lot of new faces in the secondary. He's doing a lot more teaching this year.
Yep. And he's always done plenty of teaching.
Yeah, but I mean, not just the players, but he's teaching the staffs.
Flag way after the incomplete pass. That's Tosh.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 47, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
He's
That's
livid
number
now.
47's first unsportsmanlike
That's
of the
Christian
game.
Miller. He is livid.
Well, it was a third down. They got off the field. They pride themselves on getting off the field on third down.
Miller's one of those guys who's a leader. He's on the Players Council, the guys who give feedback to Saban. That's very, very unusual for him.
Yeah, it was just late. It was just well after the whistle. It wasn't vicious. It was just late. Nick Saban, boy, again, he coaches harder. I've always said when he's up 34-0 than when he's in a 17-13 game.
They get one more 15-yard penalty on third down, he's going to lose his mind.
They had him off the field.
Twice. They flip it short. And once again, the catch is made by Dawkins, and he's off and running. Tight ropes down the sidelines, and the touchdown saving tackle made by Dylan Moses. But now the Cardinals are threatened to get on the board for the first time.
And they brought the blitz. Savion Smith, good recognition. He comes, and once he comes, they get the ball out quickly. You can see the speed of Dawkins. We've got another Alabama player. We got another player down, an Alabama player down. We got two players down.
As Quinnen Williams is down at the line of scrimmage. And another one down inside the 20. 46-yard gain. That's Mac Wilson. Boy, these are the guys that got hurt in last year's opener against Florida State. You're looking at the right leg of Williams, the guy we were just talking about. I'll take a break.
Broke my personal record.
Affleck?
No. Good break. Good break. I'm so sorry we can't make your barbecue. I'm just sick about it.
Affleck?
Different kind of sick. If I can't work after surgery, how am I gonna pay my rent? All these bills.
Affleck!
Oh, Affleck.
And they pay you cash in just one day.
See how Affleck helps cover everyday expenses at Affleck.com.
It all started at one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
4 hours into our road trip, our overpriced family plan ran out of data.
I never get the phone.
Well, with Boost, you get a great price on a family plan with unlimited gigs.
Plus free phones.
Silence.
I think you're ready for a switch.
Switch to Boost Best Family Plan and get 4 lines for only $100 with unlimited gigs on every line. And 4 free LG Stylo 3 phones when you switch. All on Boost super reliable, super fast nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Experience a blend of refined craftsmanship and raw power. New innovations and a tradition of excellence. Luxury and performance. Engineered to take the crown. The Lexus LS500 and LS500H. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Emmy nominated. New Blackish returns ABC Tuesday, October 16th.
Go back
that Williams got hurt, Kirk.
Quinnen Williams right there. Watch the center, 66. Cole Bentley initially high, and once another offensive lineman engages with him, he actually goes low. That's a textbook chop block on Quinnen Williams that the officials just missed in the pit there. There was a lot of bodies in there. It wasn't the easiest call to see, but when our replay, you could clearly see that once somebody engages up high, can't submarine. Next, the other lineman can't go down low like that.
First and goal at the 7. And a whistle before the snap. And a false start. They took Williams into the medical tent on the far side to check him out.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
How would you rate the performance of this Louisville offensive line, which came with 4 returning starters?
Well, I mean, they're going up against a really, really good defensive front. I mean, you look at Raekwon Davis and Quinnen Williams, Isaiah Buggs, Anthony Jennings. I don't know if they're going to see a better group, but I think it's the miscues that have hurt them as much as anything.
Yeah, the mental mistakes. There's been about 5-yard penalties on that group.
Christian Miller checks back in.
Pass. Steps up, fires across the middle into heavy traffic, incomplete. Remember, about 6 bodies in that area, maybe 3 for each side.
I'm telling you, Deontay Thompson, we keep looking for that next wave of stars in that secondary. You lose Ronnie Harrison and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Seen a lot late last year and some tonight of 14. Thompson back there when he's playing center field. He's doing a really good job of reading the quarterback's eyes, anticipating throws, and being able to get there. We saw an interception earlier. He's getting his hands on the ball. He's had a great night back there roaming in center field.
Pass on the roll, flips it back. Catch made by Day Williams. The pursuit is good, and the hit is hard at the 14-yard line. There's Thompson, your guy again, delivered the shot.
Yeah, man, he is feeling it. Great job there by the pursuit of the Alabama defense, running that play down. Joshua McMillan, the junior out of Memphis, got there first to slow him down. But watch 14. I talked about how he anticipates and sees things, and he's not afraid to lower his shoulder and hit somebody either.
6'2", long arms. It looks even bigger than 6'2". You see him on the field.
Yeah, he and McKinney back there at safety look good.
3rd and goal. All way back at the 13. Pressure. Pass. Escapes. Flips to the end zone. Jump ball. Touchdown. Kamari Averett, the tight end, gets the Cardinals on the board. A touchdown drive prolonged by Alabama penalties. 75 yards in 10 plays. The big assist from the defense. A flag is down. Let's double check if the catch was clean and the feet down. And boom. Does he have possession? Because the foot is clearly down.
It completes the process of the catch. You know, I think he may have got out and spun the ball right in front of the referee. This might be a dead ball foul.
It is a touchdown. Averett did a good job. Strong hands to keep possession.
Okay.
He's got it in the hands. The foot goes down. Touchdown.
Yep. Touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 11 on Louisville. That is his first of the game.
You're right on it, Kirk. He spun it, and that cost him 15 on the kickoff.
By the way, how about Puma Pass with his first touchdown of the year? Pretty good play. And there's his guy, Lamar Jackson. There, came all this way to watch him. They're one of the first guys to congratulate him. It's kind of like watching your little brother. He worked with him so much as a starting quarterback, and now to see him take over, that was a great play. Stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the pressure, and keeping his eyes downfield to find a big tight end. It's 6'6" target, by the way.
Ricky, the lefty, knocks it through. So pass 15 of 27, 183, and a touchdown to go with a pick under heavy pressure.
Cassidy Hubbard with your Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Cincinnati, UCLA. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in for the injured Wilton Speight. He gets sacked, fumbles into the end zone. UCLA recovers for the safety, and Chip Kelly loses his head coaching debut with the Bruins 26-17. Chris, Herbie, Maria, back to you.
Pac-12, some tough results this opening weekend of college football. But Saban lit into the defensive backs, and
sure
Tosh Lupoy, the defensive
point right now.
I'm going to jump on the bench and gather everybody around and drive the point home.
He's still going after that defense over on the sidelines.
his first game as a coordinator. Both coordinators came, as you said, as analysts, then assistants, and then coordinators. It was a pretty rapid descent for both Loxley and Lupoy. Kickoff, because of the penalty, is deep, and Josh Jacobs with a running start fields it. Jacobs, big momentum, bouncing off people. Jacobs into the secondary. A convoy escapes and will take it to the house. Special teams getting involved, and Jacobs scores for the second time tonight.
You go back to that dead ball, 15-yard penalty against Louisville after that touchdown. Moved them all the way back to the 20-yard line to kick that off. So Josh Jacobs, when he fielded the ball, he was at about his own 23-yard line with momentum, and then he shows you how physical he can be. He broke about 3 tackles there, and then a 4th before he went eventually into the end zone.
He has a low line drive kick, which gave him a running start.
Absolutely.
Nightmare for the coverage team. And yeah, you have to ask yourself, you know, was it worth it to spin the ball?
Right.
It was a great catch.
Yeah.
Great catch you made for the touchdown.
We got another flag down.
Is it fair to say this is bogging down?
Yeah, I think so.
In the third quarter?
Sure is.
A lot
After
of flags.
Play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 11, his first, and also number 4, his first for leaving the bench area. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So Savion Smith and Henry Ruggs flagged.
Leaving the bench area. I mean, that happens almost on every touchdown. Guys get excited for their buddy to run out there and start celebrating. But I'm just happy to see. If you're an Alabama fan, you've seen Bo Scarborough, you've seen Damian Harris, and how exciting is it for Alabama fans to see Josh Jacobs healthy and showing you and reminding you what he can do. Not only obviously in the backfield, whether he's running the ball, catching the ball in the backfield, or now returning a kickoff, but he is such a weapon to add to this Crimson Tide arsenal.
And we've seen electric returns from him. We saw the freshman Waddle make a couple nice punt returns. That's an area that could be improved for Alabama from last year. And they brought in Jeff Banks, the special teams coordinator, did a good job at A&M in that capacity for the last 5 years or so. And the Tide strong in the return game. Been a nitpick. Jones did miss an extra point earlier, knocks that one through. Remember Bama's last kickoff return for a touchdown?
No idea.
It was the didn't help that he slipped, so it's like well,
you can see
10 and 11.
See the trajectory right there, not going up into the air. It's a low line drive, and here he comes. He's picking up momentum as he catches it. Some good blocks. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. That was the kicker on the last one.
They hit a disastrous play.
Yeah.
Fell down, line drive kick, and then bounced off Jacobs. Here's our progressive pylon cam. Yeah, the last Bama kickoff return for a touchdown was in a big moment.
Oh, it was in the don't tell me. It was in a Rose Bowl. It was in the Fiesta Bowl.
It was in the championship game.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake.
Yes.
Come back against Clemson. Yeah.
Left to right.
Yep.
Opposite sideline.
Far sideline.
That. Yep.
Feel good for Jacobs. He's a guy that we've known since well before he began to see the field for the Tide. Such a humble guy.
Yeah, he is, man.
And he is really
very likable.
He's had some ups and downs, but more downs because of injuries. And you just like to see a guy like this that has a great attitude, work ethic, humility, just rehab, get healthy, and then have it all pay off.
He loves to tell his story. I mean, he's proud of the fact he didn't have a million offers.
It was in New Mexico, I think, or Tulsa, schools like that.
Yeah.
And Alabama got interested, and folks said, wait a minute, maybe this Jacobs guy's pretty good. But before Bama offered, no one.
Right. But I love that he's not like hiding from it. He owns it because of, you know, where he is today.
All right, after the penalties, they got a kickoff from way back, but this kind of rolls dead, and Burns jumps on the football. First take, moving to New York. Stephen A., Max, Molly go to the Big Apple on Labor Day for the first time. Same show, same time, different location, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Remember I said in the first quarter when Bama gets up on you, it was 14-0, just like that. They're not one of these programs that when they get up on you, they just tend to let's take our foot off the accelerator. In fact, the way their defense played that last series, I'll be very surprised if they don't come out here with a little bit of a different energy about them.
Good point. Day Williams, first down carry, battles to get just a yard. That's a very good bet. They'll be inspired. Forget what's on the scoreboard after the chewing they just got after the last.
Yeah, I mean, it was a combination of Nick Saban and then Tosh Lupoi. We talked about that, and let's see how they play here after that touchdown and then after what they experienced on the sideline from the coaches. They don't look at the scoreboard.
The process.
Compete. Still see the first unit, much of the first unit out there.
Pass, heavy pressure, spun down. It'll be a sack and a short loss. Maria?
Well, you talk about not looking at the scoreboard. After giving up that touchdown, Nick Saban gathered his entire defense together and gave them a little something to think about the next time they went on the field. Tosh Lupoi doing the same thing and telling guys, hey, if you don't tighten up right now, you won't play next week. Like, we still need to execute out here.
Arkansas State's next week. Ole Miss on September the 15th on the road is their conference opener. Rebels with an upset win over Texas Tech, one going away. There's underdogs in that game today. 3rd and 11. ISO on Saban as pass is pressured again, and a much more inspired Alabama defense. That was big old Isaiah Buggs out of Ruston, Louisiana with the sack.
That was first guess. Like we talked about when they came out on the field. All right, now we're going to see this defense play with a different attitude after the touchdown, and they got him to 3rd down. They got a good push up the middle. You know, Pass has been stepping up into that pocket and buying time when he's gotten edge pressure. This time he steps up into the pocket, and Isaiah Buggs is right there along with Raekwon Davis. Nowhere for him to go.
Just a 4-man rush, contributing to the 3rd sack for the Crimson Tide tonight. Jalen Waddle, having seen what Jacobs just did, will not take a chance on a return. Makes a fair catch at the 42-yard line. Tomorrow on ABC, Kirk, we have to find a place in Tallahassee as we do the prep for the Seminoles and the Hokies to watch the Sunday night kickoff matchup. Miami and LSU from Arlington, Texas. Coverage begins at 7:30 on ABC. What's your pick on that? Pick on game day. You picked
that game?
Yeah.
No,
Miami LSU.
Oh, the Miami. Yeah, Miami LSU. I think Miami's defense is going to get it done. You know, I think that they've got enough experience, I think, coming back where Joe Burrow, the transfer from Ohio State, makes his first career start. I think it's going to be a good matchup.
Jalen Hurts back at quarterback. Najee Harris is the tailback. They fake it to him, and Hurts takes off. Looked like a design run. Gets a nice block on the edge from Ruggs and scoots out. There is a flag down.
What's the NCAA record for flags in the opening game?
On the play. 2nd down.
Okay, they picked that one up. We're just in one quarter. We had a lot. Hurts, remember, a couple of drives that were empty in the first half. Took over kind of midway 2nd quarter. 2 for 6, 36 yards. A couple of close calls and some potential downfield plays. Harris bounces it. He's a guy that he ran angry against Georgia because he felt like he didn't get that many touches and chances, and continues to be salty out there after the play. And he had a foot injury in camp, which kind of gave Damian Harris the clear edge as the starter in that competition.
Yeah,
he's healthy now.
Yeah, and again, I think they all, much like what we've seen from the quarterbacks, they kind of buy into supporting one another, whether Damian Harris, Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, or even Brian Robinson gets a chance.
Harris in that championship game carried 6 times for 64 yards. Tagovailoa wanted to go downfield. Now he will. It's Judy running free, broken up now. Jalen Hurts, gets so used to Tua throwing it deep. It's Jalen Series as a flag. Russ Yeast, one of the
Pass interference.
inexperienced corners.
Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, and right hand appeared to get on the shoulder of Judy. Gave him a little stem to the outside, gets some separation, but the ball's thrown a little bit behind him. Good play with the left hand, but watch the right hand holding that left arm down. And even though that was super slow-mo, officials right there on top of it.
Hurts has worked hard. The downfield accuracy, would you say, has never been a strong suit for him.
First down for Alabama.
A little bit underthrown there. First down inside the 30. Najee Harris. Physical run.
Well, you're down 41-7 with 2:30 to go in the third quarter. And it's hot, it's humid, you're playing Alabama. This really tests this Louisville defense mentally. But who's still willing to throw their head and their shoulder in there and make a tackle?
Doesn't look like much fun at the moment.
No.
Defense in the white shirts. And these fresh running backs coming at you too. All these guys well rested. Harris stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. It's a Louisville team that goes up against heavyweights like Clemson and Florida State in their division. They feel like they've had decent results against those kinds of talented programs. That's the foundation for what Petrino was trying to instill, the belief, the swagger that he felt his Arkansas teams never quite had when they took on the Crimson Tide, but whole nother deal once the game starts.
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 6. Hurts faked the option pitch. It's a keeper. You see his strength as a runner, but he tried to bounce it instead of heading toward that 18-yard first down marker. Didn't get there.
I'm surprised he didn't turn upfield, lower his shoulder, and try to fight for that first down. As you said, he tried to bounce it to the outside. There's no room to the outside. Loses his balance.
We're going to see Austin Jones. Lost his grandmother recently. The family's from here in Orlando. Did not come home for the funeral, wanted to, and his grandpa said, no, Austin, you got a job to do. You need to stay in Tuscaloosa, try to win the kicking job. That's what your grandma would have wanted. An emotional time for him in this homecoming game. He'd love to knock one through. And there's a timeout on the field before this 39-yard field goal attempt. Well, Alabama came in, Kirk, favored for a reason. I think you suspected that it was going to be Tua, and that when he got in there it was going to look a lot like this. Anything else surprise you from what you've seen from the Alabama side tonight?
Some of the breakdowns on the defense. I think it's a combination of breaking in some new faces, communication with a new defensive coordinator, but really you got to get Bobby Petrino, who's had an entire offseason, to get ready to come up with some plays and personnel groupings to create confusion. So I think that's the thing. Anytime you can win in week 1 and get your team's attention with some mistakes they made, that's where you can really grow. So yeah, I mean, kind of business as usual in my opinion with Tua out there, but the defense making some of those errors and giving up some yards through the air and missed assignments, that'll be addressed by Nick Saban and his staff.
Here's Jones, who once made 19 field goals in a row when he was at Temple. 50 in his career. Knocks one through. So a nice moment for the kicker from Orlando, and he gets congratulated by his teammates. It'll make the Tide fans feel better about the field goal kicking, which wasn't always rock solid a year ago. The Allstate bus here in Orlando. We'll head up to Tallahassee after the ball game. Keeping up with all the mayhem on a busy Saturday. Kirk, you got the Allstate Mayhem Moment.
Yeah, and then we're getting something new this year with Allstate. The Mayhem Moment could be a big upset. It could be a Hail Mary. It could be anything. And my Mayhem Moment is Texas and Maryland for the second year in a row. They knock off the Texas Longhorns. They beat them in Austin last year. This time they beat them at home. That interception sealed the deal, but who would have seen that?
I saw a stat that Maryland against ranked teams 2-22 the last 24 games. Both wins coming against Texas. The Longhorns were ranked. Not the way the
Mayhem
Burnt Orange Nation wanted to get the season started.
Was almost Appalachian State going to State College, and almost knocking off Penn State. They went into overtime.
Some mayhem in that one.
I mean, Penn State had that return at the end of regulation.
Wow.
If they don't get that return, I think Appalachian State may have beat them.
Shades of the Stunner in the big house, except this wasn't a blocked field goal. This was about 500 yards on offense for him. Burns knocked down at the 15. And a flag comes in again, Kirk, just to keep your theme going. Well, Auburn and Washington, that interesting game back and forth. The Tigers scored late to knock off the Huskies. Washington was a very popular preseason pick to make the playoff by a couple dozen ESPN analysts, I think.
Yeah, I know. I had them in a playoff.
Does this loss, you think, ruin?
Not at all. They're at 6. They're going to drop down to 8 or 9 or 10. Plenty of time to, if they're able to win. I mean, there's plenty of time to work their way up. That's one of the beauties of playing in these big games. And they didn't lay an egg. They lost 21-16 on the road, essentially, in Atlanta against Auburn. I think Oklahoma and Ohio State were the two teams that went out and just dominated. I mean, in every phase, both those teams looked about as good as you could look. And then there's the Appalachian State and the Penn State game that we talked about. Not on there. It was either last night or the night before. Michigan, it was last night. Michigan State got a scare from Utah State.
After a block in the back, the Cardinals are backed up on first down. Pass has to escape to avoid the safety and just fires into the bench. He got pressure from Johnny Dwight, one of the backups. And there's 92. Look at that. Quinton Williams is back in the game.
Great to see him back out there. I'm sure the Alabama fans are wondering if he was okay when they had that chop block that was not called. But, man, he has been relentless tonight, whether it's been against the run or getting pressure on the quarterback.
And after that chop block that wasn't called in the scare, and given the fact that it's 44-7, some guys might have said, you know what, I'm good for the night. Quinton's out there still trying to make plays. Day Williams on the deep handoff, muscles for a few yards inside of 30 seconds in the third quarter. And if we're lucky, that'll be the last play of the quarter. It's bogged down, my friend. It's bogged down. There's been a few flags, if you hadn't noticed.
Come on now.
No, it's been some dudes down on the field and some flags. It's past 11, my friend. Yep, there's a pass and a catch made. And running out of bounds is Fitzpatrick, and a flag is down again. Just because they're trying to break that record for a single quarter. Oh, goodness gracious. There's a workout here for this Big Ten crew. Big Ten crew also did the Washington-Auburn game. This is kind of an all-star crew made up of different regular season crews. Change the battery and Jerry McGinn's mic.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Savion Smith, that's another major penalty on the defense. So there'd be an untimed down here.
I say in the fourth quarter we just keep Coach Saban cam up when the defense is on the field.
We're going to get a bonus play in this quarter. Well, neither team knows it yet, but Louisville's going to snap it one more time. Untimed from the 32. Saban cam's a good idea. I think just to see the facial expressions. He wants an explanation on that one, though. Saban, new contract extended 8 more years now. $74 million. He serves out that whole deal. Worth it. This is the final play of the third quarter. Incomplete pass as the Tide adds 16 points to the lead. Cardinals do get on the board, but it is 44-7. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Cassidy Hubbard with your studio update to South Bend. With a minute to go, Michigan's Shea Patterson trying to lead a game-tying drive, but coughs it up, and the Fighting Irish stave off the comeback and get the 24-17 win. Chris, Herbie, Maria, back to you.
Michigan ended up making it a game, but the Ole Miss transfer fumbles late. Hurts at quarterback on a slant. Catch for short gain. Henry Ruggs. Irish, it'll boost the optimism of their fan base with that victory. A couple of games in a few weeks' time. They got Stanford at home, then at Virginia Tech.
Defense, new defensive coordinator. It's like they're flying around tonight, getting all over Shea Patterson. For Jim Harbaugh, after the offseason he had, really the last thing he wanted to do was start off 0-1 with a loss in South Bend.
Hurts makes a peek downfield and throws it, caught by Judy, who's knocked out at the 44-yard line. Of course, the game began with Tagovailoa taking over, and this was a key play early because it was 3rd and 13. They were backed up. They find Damian Harris for 14, and they move the sticks. And it's Smith getting loose on a slant.
Yeah, he was in command early, making great decisions, throws this ball up to Judy. Remember, Alabama's trying to find that new receiver for Calvin Ridley, and he got off to such a great start in those first 2 drives.
Camping World drive recap, and there are a whole bunch of other drives you could have recapped because they were all good except for one in the first half for Tagovailoa. Hurts takes off and then slides down inbounds.
And again, we talked a little bit earlier about a difference between Tua seeing the field and Jalen still trying to feel things out. Look how the back is designed for him to do this, to go right down the middle of the field. The safety comes up, and watch Jalen give up on it and take off. You have Najee Harris kind of raising his arms saying, hey, man, I'm open, I'm open. If he sees that, or if Tua's in the game, that's a touchdown for Alabama.
And it's part of the deal they'll dissect, too. It's not just the stats, it's the plays not made. Robinson hangs up in there, gets into Louisville territory.
And honestly, as good as he has played in the last 2 years, 26-2 as a starter, there have been a lot of moments during his career where they've had open receivers where he's had to pull the ball down and run instead of finding some of those options. And that's what opened the door for Tua in the Georgia game in a national title. And that's what's opened the door for Tua to win the job this year.
When Kiffin was there in 2014, and they threw it for 278, Kirk. But would you say for the most part the last few years, the passing game has been tactical, efficient, complemented the running game? Robinson bangs ahead. You think it could be something much more than that now?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole different game that you're trying to defend. Bama in the past has been, of course, the running game, but it's been more about defense, special teams, field position, running game, and Jalen Hurts being smart, throwing the ball, not turning the ball over. But a punt is an okay thing. With Tua back there and with the weapons he has around him, it's a different game. And that's what teams are going to have to defend this year as Mike Loxley calls the plays.
And Hurts with a throw to the far side. This is Waddle, the freshman, the electric returner, spun down inside the 30. A Pacific Life game summary will look at the stats. Remains to be seen if Tua will go back in there. This may be Hurts' ball game the rest of the way. If Tua is done, 12 of 16, 227, 2 touchdowns passing, also ran for 1.
And I think the reason, despite how effective Tua has been, that Nick Saban continues to play Jalen, and now they're going to bring their 3rd quarterback in. But the reason he's so respectful of him is the way he's carried himself throughout this controversy, and also the fact he's 26-2.
And up inside, that is Mac Jones, the freshman, redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville. You know, Hurts, remember, he was the 3rd guy in the depth chart in the opening game against USC a few years back. Blake Barnett was in there.
Sure was. By the way, the guy that Mac Jones is handing the ball off to, local product, Brian Robinson. I've done their spring games the last couple years from the field level, right behind the offensive huddle. He is an impressive back. I know he's the 4th string at Alabama, but he could go a lot of places and have a chance to play.
Think about Loa and Hurts. This is shots of them snooping on their relationship and what they're going through during the game.
By the way, that you don't always see that. That's really cool to see, where you have 2 guys that want to be the guy, one guy emerges to become the guy, and yet they still have that kind of relationship. That's not always apparent. Here it is.
Robinson somehow keeps his balance after slipping on a cut and make something out of nothing. There's a combination of strength, flexibility, and balance there.
I'm telling you, man, this guy is a special back. You're right. He loses his footing, but he shows you the athletic ability. Keep in mind, he's 6'1", about 225 pounds. Gets that left hand down. And by the way, he's not going to give up on the play. He gets off of that. Now he's going to lower his shoulder and try and go over the top of a defensive back. He doesn't get a lot of carries, and when he does, he's going to make the most of them.
Harris averaging 7.9 tonight. Jacobs 7.5. Robinson 6.4. Robinson again bowling ahead in heavy traffic, just not quitting on that run either. Down to the 5. Look, they're all hungry for carries. You think they're going to take one carry off? That's the problem for a defense, among others. And you face this team every time one of these running backs gets the ball. He wants to make the most of that carry.
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of what's great about having 4 backs. But when you look at his body, how strong he is, he's a handful to bring down.
So Mac Jones trying to be part of a touchdown drive in this opener. Takes off up the middle and squirts for a couple to the 3. Time-consuming drive. This is going to be the 12th play coming up. More than 6 minutes, just what the doctor ordered.
I know the focus at quarterback's been about Tagovailoa and Hurts, but again, just because I've been around a lot and seen this kid Mac Jones out of Jacksonville, another guy who has a very firm understanding of the offensive scheme. Reads defenses quickly. You're not losing a whole lot when 10 goes out there to play quarterback.
Jones steps up, delivers to the end zone off the hands of the tight end Miller Forrestall. So it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, he stepped into that, put a little bit too much on that. Not to mention it was high.
Forrestall, a guy coming off an ACL. It cost him last season. So Jones marched him 75 yards. They come up short, and here comes Tua out to hold a field goal attempt. They don't have someone else who can hold?
Guess not.
Dude doesn't do enough. Better hurry unless they spend a timeout. Play clock running down.
Well, add that to the list with a missed extra point.
A little movement back. Maybe it's a more comfortable angle. Although Nick doesn't seem like he wanted that penalty. Look at this Alabama schedule, Kirk. It's not too early to start looking ahead at who will be able to challenge them. Who'll be able to go toe-to-toe with the Tide.
Name some teams. Go down the list.
We'll do that. We'll visit their schedule when we come back, as this one slides outside the upright. So Austin Jones misses it, and it's still 44-7. And Saban has one more thing to write down on his list.
Honk once if you love chicken. Honk twice if you love the Lord.
I gotta get my GED.
Well, welcome to night school.
You're the night school teacher?
Didn't I just say I was a night school teacher? Can you hear? Teaching the conventional way isn't gonna get it done. What's the square root of 81? What? What's the square root of 81? I don't know what you're talking about. Focus! Square root! What is it? I don't know. What's the capital of Belgium?
Waffles?
Rated PG-13.
I'm Emma. I'm Claire. And we're the Salmon Sisters. We run our business from the boat. It's a really small space. This new surface goes the perfect size. I love having something that I can hold in my hand. We're proud of this way of life. We're proud of the work we're doing.
Go, baby, go, go.
Time for a new laptop. Gotta get stuff down as fast as I can think.
Laptops with Windows Ink let you draw right on the screen.
With a powerful 8th gen Intel Core processor, right?
This kid has done his homework.
Color me impressed.
I love these new glazed tenders because they're sweet like me. And spicy like me.
Thank you for the sweater.
You're welcome.
Introducing McDonald's Sweet and Spicy Honey Barbecue Glazed Tenders. Glazed to order so they're sweet and spicy, just like Grandma.
The Good Doctor returns Monday, September 24th on ABC.
All right, Kirk, you and Maria, Maurice, of course, Dez, David, Coach Corso off to College Station for game day. Number 2, Clemson. It's another Dabo versus Jimbo reunion. Change of senior for Fisher. 9 a.m. in Eastern.
You'll be at the U.S. Open Finals when Saturday, or
it will be. Yeah, Reese will be calling that game. That's an ESPN primetime game at 7 Eastern. Interesting one.
You and Tommy have one more week till you put tennis to the side and get back to college football full time.
Big championship weekend.
No, I can't wait. This is a great week for me with U.S. Open. I'm dialed in.
Hassan Hall takes it back and gets to the sideline. Hall is loose, hurdles over the kicker and gets down inside the 40. Sky Cochran, the unique strength coach of Alabama, allowed us to put a mic on him pregame.
It's about that time. Give me one. Ah! Need 3 of them. Yes! Eddie, don't freaking move. Yes, sir. Fast and physical tonight. I've been waiting so long. You need your chest? Just give me that. Give me that. Let's go, dog. Let's go.
He gets all fueled up for this, and then how does he still have a voice after all these years? He's been doing that forever.
Yeah, you see Jeff Purington eyeing him down there, the associate ADs at Alabama. We'll say this, though. Everybody wants to know what Alabama's about, how they built this dynasty. And by the way, it's not trending down. It's, if anything, they're right in the middle of it.
Pass to Devontae Pete.
I have my theory. I'm sure you do, everybody. From what I've seen, it's a combination of a bunch of things. They obviously can evaluate talent. They recruit relentless with Nick Saban leading the way. And development in the weight room, their minds, and also their bodies has a lot to do with what we've seen from Scott Cochran, who's done an amazing job with these guys.
Yep.
And I think also the players having ownership. You know, like we see all these alumni here, these former players. This is typically the great teams are self-policed. We've seen that firsthand, where the players lead as much as the coaches do. And when you have that year after year after year, well, it becomes really a lethal combination. But he's a big part of it, along with obviously the king, Nick Saban.
Cochran trying to get the defense fired up to keep Louisville out of the end zone. It was a 61-yard return. Colin Wilson runs it down inside the 5. Is he going to keep the 4 fingers in the air for the rest of the 7 minutes?
Yeah, I think he does that for the whole 15 minutes. Yeah, I think he goes whole fourth quarter.
But most people, if you don't know, the strength coaches around these players much more than Saban and the assistant coaches, because in the offseason, a lot of the coaches can't have contact by rule, and they're in that weight room all the time with Cochran.
The reason he holds that 4 up is to remind the players, all those fourth quarter conditioning drills they do, that we own the fourth quarter. So that's what he's trying to remind them.
2nd and goal. Colin Wilson knocked down for a short gain. It's going to be tough to get it in, testing the middle of this defense. There's only one Scotty Cochran. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
He's a man.
No, he's a lot of fun.
I love him.
3rd and goal now. Should get a first down inside the 1. You need 4. And pass into heavy traffic. Never had a chance.
He almost turned away from the play like he didn't want to watch it. I don't know if it's a superstition that he uses there. 4th down right here.
This means a lot to him that this defense keeps Louisville out of the end zone.
Yeah, again, they don't let up. There's Tosh, the defensive coordinator, getting the calls in. See, he turns away from the play.
You can't look, huh?
Yeah, a peek over his left shoulder.
On 4th down, pass into traffic, incomplete. Tried to deliver it, but broken up by Shaheem Carter. And Cochran will congratulate the guys who come off the field as they do their job. Relentless. Every little detail looked after, every moment of the day.
When I play against somebody and we line up and you guard me, my whole purpose was to get you to reconsider your life choice to play basketball. You know, and that was my mentality going into every single game, is just to absolutely obliterate this guy. Likewise.
Part of a visit, I may have seen some of it on training days. And Saban told me that Kobe Bryant's message was so powerful. Every guy's eyes were on him, and he said that Kobe thought of motivational things that he had never thought of. And Saban's made a career of finding ways to reach players, to deliver messages. And Bryant talked about you need to edit your lifestyle when you get in season. Edit all the things out that are non-essential, that don't contribute to you being a champion. And how excellence was relentless, takes no time off. That's right up Saban's alley.
It's right up my alley with my kids.
Maybe Kobe can pay you a visit over to Nashville.
I've used that.
Yeah, get Scotty Cochran down there to get him to
We have. We're going to do it again.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Cochran's worked out your boys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. If I could send them down there once a week, I would. Send them down there, let them clean them up a little bit, send them back. I'd have no problem with that.
Saban over there still coaching. Mac Jones, the third quarterback, back in the ball game. Figures to do some handing off. This is Brian Robinson getting some touches, and they don't convert on the 3rd and 6. So here comes the punt team. I would say a whole lot of the guys who made the trip from Tuscaloosa ended up getting into this ball game.
I was going to ask Bear. We've done Alabama in the first week, going way back a lot of times. I'm trying to remember if there's ever been a game where we didn't start showing elements like Kobe Bryant and different things. I think they win almost every.
I think we come with a full bucket and then we empty it, because this is usually what happens.
Yeah, I think Virginia Tech, like 12 years ago, maybe, gave them a game.
Well, it's been a little spotty for the special teams. It's a low putt. It's going to work out okay because it takes pretty good bounce for Skylar DeLong. Sports Center late tonight. That's after the BYU Arizona game. Stan Barrett, Michael Eaves going to break down biggest games of the night. Top sights and sounds from week 1. Highlights from Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers taking on the D-backs. Sports Center on ESPN.
I'm dead serious. I know you and I are going to call the game Monday night, which I'm looking forward to. Florida State and Virginia Tech. And then you're going to head back up to New York. This is my favorite weekend of U.S. Open. Seriously, give me some ideas, some matches, what night, real quick, that I can look forward to. Federer or Rafa or any of these guys.
Saban, he's a huge tennis guy. He always wants to talk tennis.
Well, everyone is.
Because he wants to know about Rafa and Roger.
Yeah.
There's a jet sweep.
Serena?
Yeah, so the people who have maintained hunger despite all they've achieved and continue to improve aspects of their game despite being among the greatest of all time. That speaks to him. That's right up his alley. So both Rafa and Roger are alive. Both of them are into the round of 16 is going to start. Serena.
When does that start? Tuesday or Wednesday?
The quarterfinals will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it'll be.
I like those late matches and the crowd's going wild.
I know you do. Djokovic and Federer in a quarterfinal. So pencil that one out. I think it's going to be Wednesday night.
D-Mob directing?
Yeah, he will.
Okay.
He'll be there.
I might come up.
I didn't really expect to talk tennis here.
It's an Alabama game. So listen, is it okay if I come up and be your spotter?
You can do whatever you want. Absolutely.
D. Brown can come up there. Do you have a spotter for tennis?
We don't have a spotter, but we can always use help in the booth. You never know. The Open is such a big New York event. You never know who's going to come in the booth. I mean, you turn around, Tony Bennett's in there. Katie Couric. It's just every.
Is it a big booth?
It's a large booth. You'll be comfortable.
Okay.
I'll have some snacks for you. Pass. Flips it underneath. The Cardinals' offense is still playing, and this is the guy that you want to see run. This is Tutu Atwell. He's a speedster. 150-pounder. He's from Miami. He played his last high school game on this field, and Miami Northwestern won a state title. And Petrino says, I hope they don't get their hands on him because he weighs 150, but he's hard to catch. And you get glimpses. He's going to be a contributor in the ACC for this offense.
I love to see a guy that played quarterback in high school but has that athletic ability to be able to move to the outside, going to the ACC level. Gives you an idea what a great powerhouse high school program in Miami Northwestern. We've seen a lot of great athletes come out of that
Look at
school.
this. That's like almost Lamar-like. Right here in the same field, somehow keeps his balance. They don't pen him in on the sidelines. And, you know, like a lot of teams, as pass fires to the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Caught by Averett over the middle, the tight end.
Second touchdown.
This time, no spinning of the football.
No.
So that duo has connected twice as Louisville scores for a second time. But they're recruiting high school quarterbacks more and more and then putting them in different positions.
Yeah. You know, Gary Patterson is famous for doing that over the years. Chris Peterson, when he was at Boise State, now Washington, looks for guys like that. I like to see Louisville not giving up. You know, they're still coming down, still trying to execute, compete.
It's all set up by the 61-yard return. Well, Monday, Labor Day night, Kirk mentioned it over on ESPN, Virginia Tech and Florida State. College football megacast will be a part of it. ESPNU, ESPN News, ESPN3. Marty Smith and Ryan McGee are going to be bringing you the first ever Goodyear blimp cast.
I didn't know.
Over Doe Campbell.
Gamecast.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
So blimp cast. So it's going to be really interesting. You know, Marty and Ryan riding up there in the blimp with the booth. Look at now, they're not going to be in the blimp, I don't think. Weather permitting, they're just going to have the camera from the blimp, which is a pretty cool angle.
I thought we were going to run down that Bama schedule.
We'll run down the schedule.
Okay, because I'm anxious to see what they have left and what Louisville, you know, what they're going to have to deal with once they get into conference play.
You see the total yards here, 509 as they've throttled back a bit. Again, if they kept the pedal of the metal, you're talking about maybe a 700-800 yard night if they'd wanted to. That's how dominant they were. But you know, the traps in the SEC are familiar. One thing when you look at Alabama's schedule, the road games that they have are against people like Arkansas and Tennessee.
Ole Miss.
Near the bottom of the division. They do have LSU November the 3rd in Baton Rouge. Mississippi State visits Auburn, visits the Iron Bowl is November 24th.
No. No.
So what do you mean? No.
Arkansas State.
Well, no.
All right. There's a W. It's a W. Tennessee rivalry. W. LSU. W. Mississippi State could be a decent game. Okay, off week, and then get ready for a showdown. That's the one game of the year, but it's at home that they might get challenged before they go to Atlanta and play Georgia.
This is going to be the 74th consecutive win by Alabama over unranked teams. That is an all-time record. You realize that they have lost one game to teams ranked outside the top 15 in the last 10 years. It was South Carolina in 2010. That was an Alshon Jeffrey, the game day game, I think. That's the only time that a team outside the top 15 has beaten Bama in 10 years. In that same span, no other team has lost fewer than 10 games. That shows you the gap. It's a staggering comparison.
It's called avoiding complacency.
Yes. It's why we have a little fun with Saban and the staff about sweating every detail, but
this is what happens.
Yeah,
it's what happens.
Cassidy Hubbard has the Ford wrap-up show right after the game. We were counting down to the final.
And by the time he gets done with these boys after watching film, they're going to think they lost 51-14 when they show up next week. They're going to take a lot of body blows in the film room.
Look out, Arkansas State, huh?
I feel bad for him. You know what? He's cool. He'll pull off at halftime. They'll pull back.
You know, he had that training days. He was wearing a mic for about 26 days. And the point was to show that they do have fun, because you see the intensity and you see the hollering. And look, he is intense. But he was trying to counter the negative recruiting by saying we also have some fun at Alabama. It's not all a grind. It's not all hard work. And that show did kind of serve the purpose Saban was trying to get across, that you can have some fun there, but it's really about championships. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they'll go out in the boat once in a while. He likes to try to wreck the guys when they're out there. Pulling them around. Takes pride
in that. Fun for him. Well, the Tide rolled as Tagovailoa was just absolutely superb when he was in there. I mean, almost unstoppable on offense when number 13 was running the show. Let's go down to Maria with Coach Saban.
All right, Coach, everyone had questions about who was going to start at quarterback when this game started. What answers did you have about your quarterbacks after watching both of them play tonight?
Well, I still like both guys. I think both guys are good players. I think both guys can help our team. All right, so why do you continually try to get me to say something that doesn't respect one of them? I'm not going to, so quit asking.
I hear you. Over 500 yards of total offense. What did you see from the entire unit then?
Well, I thought when we executed and did what we were supposed to do, we played pretty well. We had way too many penalties in the game. I shot ourselves in the foot a bunch, made a lot of errors on defense. We got a lot of work to do for the challenges ahead.
What's the biggest improvement that defense can make then?
I couldn't hear what you said.
What's the biggest improvement that defense can make?
Well, I think there's too many mental errors, you know, turning guys loose. When you see somebody running open and nobody's covering them, somebody messed up.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, so Coach a little salty. Maria showing her resilience there. Is Saban going to have any fun this year? I mean, seriously, because this quarterback thing is going to linger. He has massive respect for Jalen Hurts. Tagovailoa obviously is a transcendent quarterback throwing the football.
Couple things. Number one, Maria just stood right in the pocket.
She did.
Underneath a lot of pressure. You're getting ready to make that throw. Here comes that linebacker. You got to make that throw, and she just stood right there. That's the first thing. Second thing is, it's going to be a really long year for him because he doesn't handle these big wins well, and they're going to win almost every game like this, I think. They're going to win often with Tua in their quarterback. It's going to feel a lot like this. Third thing is we may need a medic in the post-game presser because it's going to get a little bit frigid in there with the questions about the quarterback situation.
Not the last question about Tua and the QBs he's going to hear tonight, so yeah, that could be interesting. In the meantime, Tide off and rolling 51-14 over Louisville. Tonight's game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. I'd like you to join us 2 nights from now up the road in Tallahassee. ACC cross-division collision between Virginia Tech and Florida State from Doak Campbell Stadium. The Tide, impressive. Time now for the Ford Wrap-Up Show. Let's go.